Welcome back, fellow true warriors, to the saga of Vinland, in which things have reached a boiling point, for the dream of Thorfinn suffocates with violence and the desire of a peaceful reality free from war continues to elude them all. The chapter is relatively short, which sure is annoying, as I think just about everyone is ready for the conclusion, as painful as it may be, but we must practice content with the little things we do get, as the story is still wonderful. The chapter opens with a worrying panel as a weakened Einar stands holding a spear as hungry Lanu circling him like hyenas close the distance. The caption is deeply emotional and serves to establish Einar's resolve in why he takes up the spear. He cannot lose the love of his life again. One of the main reasons Einar joined Thorfinn in his quest was to pay respects to Arnheid, who died as a result of the cruelty and violence of the world she was entrapped. The psychological damage that plagued Einar's mind with the chance of failing her again as he saw it would drive many to the same choice as him. It has already been established that Einar is emotionally weak, and the hate he is getting for going against Thorfinn's wishes is obscene to me. He is human and he made mistakes. A rational Einar is against murder, as shown all the way back in Hild's introduction, as most moral humans deny its benefit, and not fleeing from the settlement was the wrong choice for sure, yet I understand why he didn't and feel like it's easy for us to make claims of ignorance whilst not in the same high stakes, highly emotional positions ourselves. Anyways, the Lanu begin arguing amongst themselves like idiots for the loot of the potential kill, the allure of the advanced Nord weapons, a common desire of theirs, often blinding their judgment. So instead of quickly disposing of Einar, they engage in a one-on-one contest to win his spear. It is very psychotic, disregarding the life of Einar and treating it like a game to simply win an object of violence, and Einar mistakes it for sportsmanlike conduct. We can see the fear in his eyes as he grapples with the reality present in front of him. Einar, who has never killed anyone, forced into a choice to either die like a weak animal or fight back and cast away that danger. This is something Griffith mentions in Berserk as well to Minister Foss. When a man is faced with something he truly fears, he cannot ignore it. He only has two options: he can become subordinate and fall under its wing, or he can strike out and erase the fear. And Einar, bound to the memory of Arnheid and everything she stood for in his life, settles with the latter. He forces himself to believe that his choice is just and of the only two options. There is your enemy, he is trying to kill you, therefore you must kill him. It's a very animal yet also human conclusion. I have never publicly worshipped Thorfinn's choices on my channel, despite it being the ideal utopia for sure, and a lesson for everyone reading it to be a better human, something I have definitely learned and adjusted my views from. It just never made any logical sense in the chance of being implemented into such a ruthless society on a wider scale, which Thorfinn attempted to do. War is as natural as day and night, especially in the Viking period, and human nature is innately fused with violence. Thorfinn was naive in trusting the goodness of people, and that may be a controversial take, but deal with it. Vargar, the former Jomsviking and absolute pillar of protection, arrives at the shore and instantly brutalizes the competition, with his unquestionable superiority in battle shining through, his men stamping out the Lanu in quick time. The violence is very reminiscent of the Baltic War arc, with limbs, heads, blood, eyes, and all manner of weaponry spraying the battlefield with utter badassness, and the Lanu, clearly outmatched, flee into their boats, reminded why they don't mess with Vikings. Vargar travels to the main fort, in which more body parts are scattered, and he wonders where Thorfinn is at such a time as this. Aren't we all, Vargar? Aren't we all? He then sees Einar still engaged with his one-on-one target, yet to our surprise, Einar has pierced his neck, blood spraying out of the Lanu warrior's mouth, Einar frozen in his actual achievement of felling a dangerous enemy. The shock on his face is obvious of the despair Einar must be feeling over all the conflicts surrounding Arnheid's village, and the amalgamation of Thorfinn and his dream crashing down is allowed to erupt from violence, and Einar brutally massacres his opponent, a very eerie parallel spotted by Mir Meyer on Twitter to that of Kettle's explosive anger. His eyes are more sad than malicious, and to me this is a moment of venting his frustration out in the easiest and most primal way possible. He attacks the already finished warrior so hard that the spear snaps, and Vargar quells his energy in the same way Thorfinn had to do in the past by restricting him. Einar is still in shock, repeating to himself in a meek voice that he had no choice. Violence was on his doorstep, and he either accepted it and died with no resistance, or fought back to expel the evil. The chapter ends with a darkly cast face of Einar, still telling himself that choice was forfeit, an ominous ending that cast the future into even more tenebrosity. So, what does this chapter mean? Well, overall things are just continuing to get worse. Even if the force was driven off by the ex-Jomsvikings, the development of Einar into accepting violence and killing is the only choice will serve to drive a wedge between he and Thorfinn whenever Thorfinn should return. Thorfinn will be heartbroken, destroyed, and possibly defeated that his closest friend, the ally he considered equal in his resolve to escape war and violence, would have sunk so far into fall to its horrible ways. However, this isn't a shock. Sure, it was visceral to see come to fruition, but Einar has been drifting from Thorfinn for a long time at this point due to his emotional binds to the memory of Arnheid. The reason he could not accept fleeing the settlement when Thorfinn ordered was due to his connection to Arnheid's village, claiming to Thorfinn his vow of not killing was more important than the village. Which is true, sure, and I would claim more noble of a cause. However, Einar is only human after all. We make mistakes at the height of emotionally catastrophic moments that force us into scenarios we may not want, but do not possess the foresight or knowledge to foresee a better option. So Einar, with his love and lack of foresight, chose to fight. Not that he wants to take life, it is blatant he despises the act, and this is why he tries to mentally force himself into believing that his choice was right, even though listening to Thorfinn may have saved many more lives. Although at this stage Thorfinn ordered a retreat, the Lanu were already attacking, so who knows. Einar was pushed to his breaking point and failed to see any other way without completely betraying his original commitment to Arnheid and everything she had died for. It just continues to get more tragic. I highly doubt it will end in a Thorfinn versus Einar fight, that doesn't seem likely, but a serious dialogue must be had before the conclusion, as they will no longer be able to continue together. In my opinion, Einar has gone down a new path with darker undertones, accepting violence rather than rejecting it like his past, and somewhat parallels Thorfinn's own journey, yet both will most likely end in failure, as is the brutal reality of the world. Yukimura can only edit so much of real history before it becomes ridiculous fantasy, and it definitely won't be a happy one, basically confirmed by the themes, natural history, and one of Vinland Saga's main flippin' editors. Overall, a good chapter, Vargar my favourite character, and Einar's walking down a new path is very sad to see. Anyways, the Berserk chapter is dropping very soon as well. I have seen leaks on the timeline already, so watch out for those. But until that one, make sure to watch my Pum Pum video, stay safe, and peace out.